There is no way, no how that my mama would know that my sibling is stealing my money and is on her side. Chop. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. What's going on, you all? We got to talk about the Tamika and LaTocha situation. Let me tell you something, because girl, y'all know how I feel when it comes to conversations about family, because the girls use that as a protection. Like, oh girl, that's family. That's why I've done several videos about, girl, F the family, move on. Like, y'all not gonna use that. We see this. So if y'all have not been watching the Queens of R&B, there's been a big conversation around Tamika having $30,000 worth of royalties, like cash, by her sister and her sister's husband, allegedly. Like, that's what she's been, that's the accusation that she's been saying. I believe it. I believe it. The way Tamika stood up and said that stuff, and LaTocha sat down and allowed, ain't no way in hell somebody accusing me of stealing some money or doing anything that I didn't do, and I'm sitting down like taking it. Ain't no way in the hell. Which tells me LaTocha don't have an answer. Which is why she's now using the response that Tamika disrespected her mama as, well, I'm not on her because she done disrespected the mama. Like that's like, till she get right about mama. I disrespected mama because you disrespected my royalties by cashing the check with your husband. That's what that is. So, girl, like watching this, I'm like, ain't no way in the hell. Ain't no way in the hell. And I believe Tamika's story 100%. When the girl talks about it, when she opens up and has a conversation about it, you can just feel the hurt. It is there. She's reliving the trauma, because she said that she was pregnant while this stuff was happening. Like, she was pregnant. She could have been supporting her child. She could have been doing all the other stuff, like her sister was stealing money, doing all the other stuff. So apparently she did a video, and in the video, she was saying, with Candy and Tiny, she was sitting in the video and she was saying that what was happening was LaTocha and Rocky were forging her signature on the checks and stuff. Like, apparently she, did some stuff, some switcheroo stuff, and had the checks mailed to her house. And then when the checks was coming, she was forging the signature. Now, apparently this happened a long, long time ago, where it was kind of easy to like do stuff like that. But she said she has the receipt. She said she can prove it. And right now, like, this is it. I now see why their mama was like, cut the cameras, dead ass. I see why, because girl, like, she don't want to be exposed, because you are less than a mother. So since Tamika can't say it, since nobody can, I'm gonna tell you, you are less than a mother. You are not a mother. For you to sit up here and allow your child to take from your other child, and your response is, this is family, we need to talk about this in private. Are you joking me? This is how harm is continuously able to happen in families, because it is, at the end of the day, it needs to stay private, because we don't hurt family. But I will ask, if that was true, if we don't do anything to hurt family or disrespect family, then why are we not starting from the very, very beginning? Because Tamika has been hurt by her sister stealing from her. So maybe if we addressed this, maybe if we talked about this thing, maybe we wouldn't have to get to a point where it's disrespected. I don't believe there's nothing wrong with letting your mama have it. Me and Linda, my mama, have bumped heads a couple of times, and she's got to the point that she gets it. We both get it, because there's some stuff that we don't discuss. Some stuff is just like, hey girl, like, we get it. It's like, my mama didn't learn. It is taking some years, but Linda knows that I don't mind letting her know that she is wrong, and she appreciates that, because she sees other mothers stepping over, like disregarding boundaries, all of that. And just watching this, Tamika is a grown ass woman, and she's sitting next to her mama, and she can't even be honest and tell her mama, you have showed favoritism to LaTocha, and her mama is cutting her off. Her mother is cutting. That's why they honestly need a counselor or a therapist, a real therapist who can be honest and say, hey, you're not listening to your daughter. You're not listening to her. And Mama G does not want to listen because she don't want to be painted as wrong. Because this thing that mothers are never wrong. And mothers are wrong because, you know, they're human. You know, and it's okay. Like, there's no such thing as a perfect mother. But an imperfect mother is a mother who is not listening to their child when they're asking and telling, like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I don't need. And Tamika is telling her mama, this is how I feel. And immediately, Mama G is interested in protecting her image as a mother. Her latching on to what I was the fifth member of Escape, or I was the fourth, I was the silent member. When your daddy left me, you need to get some therapy. If you're holding that the man that you married left you out in cold and dry on your children, that's traumatic. And you know what? It's so interesting listening to older black women who think like this, because this is patriarchy. This man left you cold, high and dry, all of that. You was probably pushed to marry this man. You probably had questions. You probably didn't like some of the stuff he did, but patriarchy taught you that you need to be married, you need to have some kids, the man is the head of the household, and that's just what it is. To the point that, like, you know, men making the most money, like being the breadwinner, all the other stuff, they have all of this control that you can't say, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, I don't like this. So when women are left by these men, they lose everything. They lose everything. They have to pick up the pieces. So now the generations that's coming after them is just like, I don't want to be in this situation. You have a lot of women who are like, I'm not getting married. I'm not going through what you did. I'm not dealing with that. I don't want no children. I don't want to deal with that. And you can just see, like, I can't imagine my mama telling me, being mad at me, like, because I look like my father, or I have my father's ways, or something like that. That is traumatic. And you can tell Tamika has experienced this for years. For years, to be honest. And it took this show for it to come out, because now Mama G can be questioned by folks and like, hey girl, this is not right. This is not cool. So, F the family. Sometimes it's okay to tell mama that she's wrong. Sometimes it's important for us to tell our mamas that they are wrong. Sometimes it's important for us to put our mamas in their place, because sometimes they do overstep. Sometimes they do, because sometimes they see us as still as babies. But as an adult that's taking care of your own and doing all your own thing, you're not going to tell me what I can and cannot do. So that's why I don't have any issues with folks who cut off family members. If it's something the queer folks have learned, we got to like cut families off. Watching this last week's episode of Drag Race, a lot of them folks in previous season 2 have said they do not talk to their family no more. They have cut off their mom, they cut off their dad. We had to survive, to grow. And y'all need to be taking notes from them. Y'all need to be taking notes from, if they can't respect you, they can't give you the things that you need, and you're constantly being traumatized and experiencing this trauma every time, you need to cut them off. And I guarantee you, because the moment Tamika said she's gonna have to pull back, her mama started listening and paying attention. Did you catch it? She started listening and paying attention. She was like, what you mean by that? You can't do me like that. It was like, how dare you? But baby, let me tell you something. Mamas do not want to experience no stuff like that. They do not want to. My mama was the same way. I was like, look, like she told me, don't ever do me like that. Because me and mama, we bumped heads some years ago over some stuff. And, you know, I didn't talk to her for 3 months. Love my mama down. But I was just reminded, like, hey, if you can't get with the program, you can't respect me, I'm just not going to have you in my life. That's why I'm just not interested in that traumatizing, this is family shit. Because folks be doing that to enable like trauma and abuse, and I'm just not interested in it. And there's no shade, but at the end of the day, I need to protect my peace. Like I don't know how much time I have on this earth, but it needs to be as peaceful as I can have it. With all the other things I'm fighting, I cannot allow something that's supposed to be a safe space for me, something where I'm invulnerable, to attack me. And you can tell how Tamika talks. Like she just was so sitting down talking to her mama. She couldn't be honest with her mama and tell her mama was wrong. And all I can think about, that's my mama, Toya. But y'all didn't let y'all mamas know that they wrong. And Tamika is that, and LaTocha did that. And LaTocha, I believe she did it. Every time I've seen her and her husband in them scenes, they just look crooked as hell. First of all, no shade. LaTocha, we see what's going on. I want to have another conversation with LaTocha. I'll probably talk about it later, but LaTocha that's on this show, I don't recognize her from the LaTocha from the other show. Her skin is lighter. She's wearing the hell out of these blonde wigs, and I get it. Considering the trauma and stuff that LaTocha has experienced, I get it. Like her being referred to as the big girl, like her not being seen, I get it. I probably don't get it all the way because I'm not a woman. I'm not a dark-skinned, fat, black woman. But I am a dark-skinned, fat, black man. And we have some similarities. And I hate that you experienced that. I hate that you experienced like colorism, anti-fatness. I hate that she experienced that. Even with her sitting next to Wendy and Wendy Williams was saying, hey, you kept the weight off, like my body being critiqued. Like it's just too much. I get it. So, but I'm just like, LaTocha, each time I see you and your husband, y'all just look like crooked letter folks. Y'all just look like two thieves. And I just don't see in what world your sister would get out of lying on y'all like that. Like, and an emotion. The emotion, like something's going, and you can tell LaTocha likes to be the center of attention because in each, I don't want, girl, you know your broke ass need this damn tour, please. You can't be cashing no more checks that's not yours, so you need this tour, so stop playing. They should have just went on and told LaTocha, okay, girl, so you ain't gonna do it, we good, we gonna figure it out. I guarantee you LaTocha would have got this together then. I guarantee you she would have got it together. Sometimes you gotta pull like, hey girl, like fold up, like we'll move on without you. She need this money. Ain't no way in hell LaTocha finna get no record deal by herself right now. It's not realistic. Not no major contract or something. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So yeah. But girl, those are my thoughts. I have started reviewing the Queens of R&B on Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive. That's where you can find me. If you can support, you have $5. You can sign up on Patreon. That's what I'm doing, the reviews for the Queens of R&B. But girl, the whole situation has been a mess. It's been a mess. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Let me know how you feel. Have you ever had to pull your mama to the side and let her know what this is? Have you had to gather a family member for some wrongdoing and cut a family member off? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk y'all later. Bye.